Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Small Business Small Talk. I am your host, Christy Smallwood, the owner and chief strategic guide for Eagle Eye Strategies based here in Louisville, Kentucky. But Small Business Small Talk is a podcast where I spotlight area small businesses, and it doesn't really matter which area, but small businesses across the nation to learn more about how they even got started with what they're doing, what drives them, what their best practices are, what they've learned in life, things that we can learn from ourselves. So we're just sharing this journey of small business together through this podcast. And with that, I do want to thank my sponsor partner, which is the Chamber of St. Matthews. We are a very vibrant, thriving chamber here in the area in Louisville, Kentucky, and I'm super excited to be a part of them. And just total shout out, if you're not a part of a chamber, you need to be. It's a very important part of growing your business to get connected into your community. So do that, go do it now. If you don't have one, contact me, we'll take you. So, and my next guest is already laughing because he knows how important the chamber is. So I do want to welcome in my guest. Now, let me give you a little backstory on this. He was in my area here and he decided to move and create another marketplace, keeping a local presence here in the Louisville area, but he also has a second location in North Carolina. So very excited about Jaracz Swain today because he and I served together in another chamber in the area in one Southern Indiana, which is right across the Ohio River from Louisville. So it literally, some people think it's a whole nother journey to go across the bridge.
You're right.
It's a whole different world over there.
Just the suburb of Louisville, right? The suburb. That's what I tell everybody.
Sunny side is what New Albany was. It's always, the sunny side.
There you go.
So I had the pleasure of serving with you over there. I got to see you, and have your business show up as a new business. And then you guys won an award and everything. It was so exciting to just watch that journey and that growth. So tell my listeners, my watchers more about your story. So how did you even start? Because your business is Safety Net.
Yes. So business is Safety Net. So I was a firefighter for 21 years for the city of Louisville. And while I was on the fire department, I was also American Heart Association instructor. And while I would teach classes for the fire department would always have classes every Friday from 12 to 4. That's the only time that they had available. And so I would watch individuals come in and they would complain about how they had to take off work to participate in this class. Or we would have business owners like yourself who would complain that they couldn't afford to shut down their business so their whole staff could come in and get this training. And so that's how we came up with the concept of Safety Net. We are a business that a company, we provide on-site training. So we come to you at a time and place that's convenient for you and your staff. So that's how we kind of grew the business, and it's good though. Good journey.
It has been a good journey, and I've learned a lot about what you do and who you are over the years, and it's just been exciting. So again, huge thank you to you for saying yes to doing this podcast, because
thank you very much. I was excited. I wasn't going to turn you down. It's funny. I said yes before I even knew what we were going to talk about. I was like, maybe you should ask her what we're talking about.
And that's the power I have, people. They just say yes.
Man, right. That's exactly right.
So 21 years as a firefighter.
Mm-hmm.
What made you, I understand, you found the need in the marketplace, mm-hmm. but what got you, because at the time you also had a partner, Melvin, right?
Yes. So he was a firefighter as well. I asked him to become a part of it. He ran the CPR center for the Louisville Fire Department while we were still on in 2014. We started the business because both of us were still on the fire department when we started this business. But I love helping people. That's why I love the fire department. It was a great job. I love helping people, and with this, it allows me to continue to help people. I was helping people and saving lives on the fire department, and now I'm also helping people save lives just in a different aspect. it makes me feel good to know that we're teaching someone how to save a life, especially because likely the life you save is going to be someone close to you, someone near and dear to you that you love. And so that's my biggest drive. I just love helping people.
So what made you guys say, well, let's start this as a business? How did you make
Um,
that flip?
well, man, that's a good question. So it's funny when I pitched this to Melvin because I wasn't sure that he was going to want to come on board. And so I was like, I told him, I said, hey man, I'm thinking about starting this business. He was already an instructor as well. As I said, he ran the CPR business. And I was like, I just want to teach a couple classes a week. If we, just because we were both knew that we were setting ourselves up to retire. Because at the time, you could do 20 years on the fire department and retire if you wanted. And so I know we both were setting ourselves up to retire. So I was like, we'll just teach a couple classes, and that's how I lured him in. I won't keep you busy because I knew he was active in his church and he had other things going on. But and then once we started the business that first year, and he was like, oh boy, I could. And then that second year rolled around. I was like, okay, I'm going to have to retire. So I went ahead and left the fire department and began doing this full time. And it's been a great journey, but that's kind of how we started, and how I got him lured into this, I would say.
So tell us more about the business itself. I know you do CPR training, but you also do other things and
Yes.
what all that entails.
So we do safety and emergency training. That entails, so we do all of the curriculum for our courses is based upon the American Heart Association. So upon completing any of our courses that we have, you will receive a 2-year certification through the American Heart Association in the course that you deem to enlist in. We do first aid training where we teach you basic first aid skills, how to stop bleeding, what to do in case of an allergic reaction, how to use an EpiPen. We do CPR training where we teach you adult, child, and infant CPR, and then how to use an AED, which is automated external defibrillator. You've probably seen those in airports and malls and schools and such. What else? We teach you bloodborne pathogens, where we teach you how to prevent a bloodborne pathogen incident and what to do in case you do have an event of a bloodborne. You are exposed to blood or bloodborne pathogens. What else? We teach basic life support for those that are in the healthcare field. That's a more extensive CPR training that those that are in the healthcare field, such as nurses, doctors, dentists, all of them have to have a more extensive type of CPR training. So we teach that. What else? ACLS. We do ACLS training too. That's more for doctors. That's even a more extensive training. So yeah, all of that keeps us busy.
Yeah, I would say so. That is a lot of life-saving services right there.
Yes. Yes. And
So
it's been great.
When you guys do this kind of work, what is a normal thing? Because I noticed some of your pictures, right? So you have that CPR dummy going on. Like what is that like for first timers? That experience of having to like the stuff you see on TV, right?
Right. Everybody's seen the clip from The Office. I guess you probably have seen that too. I get that all the time. I watched the clip from The Office where anyway, I won't spoil it for you. I'll let you look it up.
There's a clip from The Office. I'm totally gonna have to edit that into this podcast because
yes. Yeah, there's a clip from The Office and they're doing CPR training. So you gotta check that out.
Okay.
But so with the mannequins, it's funny because everybody, even including my mom. So how many dummies do you have? And I'm very partial. Mom, they're not dummies. It's a mannequin.
Okay. So mannequins, I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine. You're right. These are my babies, so I take care of them. But it's a mannequin. But yes, it's unique, to see, to watch somebody, the gleam in their eye when they're learning CPR, or how to bandage an individual, to stop bleeding. You know, even as simple as stopping a nosebleed. You'd be surprised at how many people still think you should tilt your head back to stop a nosebleed. And no, no, that's the old myth. So when you teach them something even small like that, to see
So
that,
how do you stop a nosebleed? What are you supposed to do?
well, you tilt your head forward and you put pressure on the cartilage right there at the bridge of
So
your
you're not
nose.
you're not going from underneath, you're
No,
going from the
no,
top of the nose.
that's right. And you're
Okay.
going to tilt your head forward, and you just keep applying pressure right there, squeezing it and applying pressure, and it would eventually clot. Most people think you tilt your head back and do this, but no, the blood's going to drain down your nasal passage, down into your
Ew.
throat. And yeah, it's going to be toxic. So you don't want to do that.
No.
No, but it works. I just had to do it with my two boys were playing basketball this summer and got a nosebleed. So it works. Tilt your head over, forward, not back, forward.
Did they hit each other in the face with the ball or something?
Yeah, my youngest caught an elbow. That's how they're competitive. They're 5 years apart, but they're competitive, I will say. And it doesn't help that the youngest is taller than the older.
Oh.
Yeah, he's got 3 inches on him. So I 162 and 165.
Oh.
Yeah, and you see
Wow.
how tall I am. So we're just gonna leave that right there on the table. Just gonna leave that right there.
We won't touch that then.
No, 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 no.
So, okay. Yeah, so I do typically ask my guests more,
Mhm.
in-depth questions about, like,
Okay.
so I mean, honestly, I've caught a couple of things that you've already said, but what do you love most about what you do?
That I would say the helping people, to seeing that look in their eye when they realize. Hey, you know what I love about what I do? Uh, so I'm passionate, very passionate about teaching you how to save lives. But what I get the most joy is after you take my class or one of our classes, and a person comes up to you and says, Jaracz, I've taken several, because you have to have CPR, for instance, CPR training every 2 years. I've taken several CPR classes before, but this is the first time where I feel really confident that if I was to experience someone having cardiac arrest, I feel like I could save a life. And that's priceless to me. That's the most joy, because that means you really got something out of it. You feel really comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the joy I get out of it, because I'm so passionate about it. I want to teach as many people, because yeah, I want to make sure that you can save a life, and you know what to do, because so many people just don't, and they just freeze up in emergency.
Yeah. So how do you help them get over that freezing up moment? Because that's more mental than, how do you get them to tell themselves, I need to take action right now?
Well, again, it goes back to making them comfortable with what they've learned. Once you feel confident, because we're going to practice this over and over in the classroom. I'm not just going to get up here and tell you how to do it. You're going to actually feel and put your hands all over that mannequin. And I know that probably doesn't sound right, but you are going to.
For those people who saw my face, I'm like, okay.
Right. Yeah, I saw your face. I was like, oh, that probably didn't sound right. but 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 in the right places, you are going to touch on the mannequin and see exactly what it feels like to do compressions and give breaths, just like you would on an individual. So you're going to feel confident once you leave our class, and with the confidence you're going to have, you will be able to feel comfortable, because that's what scares a lot of people, is the fear of the unknown. They don't. Oh God, what do I do? So we want to make sure that you're confident when you leave our class, and that you will know what to do.
Yeah, I
and
would
then for
be
you act.
concerned I would be doing it wrong and doing more damage than
Right. And
help.
a lot of people are. Yes. Take our class. You won't.
Gotcha. So, as well, not new anymore, but when you started your business and up to this point, what's been one of the biggest challenges that you've had to overcome as a business owner?
So I would say the biggest challenge, Christy, is just getting your name out there. You know, that's one of the biggest challenges out there because, as you know, businesses is all about building relationships.
Hmm.
You know, and relationships, they take time to build. You know, I didn't just meet you and I don't even think you even recognized me when the first time we met. You know,
You
I
poor
was a
thing.
little
You sat at a
peon.
committee table and you're like, what am I getting myself into?
I tell you, but I remember the first time that I met you. I I can tell you that story later, but I definitely remember uh,
Oh,
the time I met you. It's a good thing. It is a good thing, but I definitely remember. I had to tell you about it. But I would so my biggest challenge, like I said, just getting the name out there, having the patience. You got to have the patience to know that this is not going to happen overnight. It's going to take time. Don't don't focus so much on trying to make money or anything. Just focus on building relationships with individuals, and everything else will come.
you're absolutely right. And it does take a while. I remember a time, Lucas Oil, the the CEO of that, she spoke at an Inspire series,
Mm-hmm.
and she shared the 3-year rule. That first, they would go to shows when they first started Lucas Oil. Like we all know
Mm-hmm.
Lucas Oil now,
Right.
but in the beginning, she said it took 3 years. And that first year when they went to trade shows, people would walk by and point and go, "Oh, look, there's somebody new," and nobody would stop. I mean, that's very disheartening. She said, but we, went back the second year and people
Mm-hmm.
would stop and they would give us feedback. They're just checking us out. Oh, okay, you're an actual thing now. So
Mm-hmm.
year two is, oh, you're actually real. And she said year three is when they believed us. They finally saw that we were consistent, we were in it to win
Right.
it there. We weren't fly by night kind of thing. And I was like, okay, so 3-year mark should be, we always hear about that. You got to get over the 2-year hump as a new
Mm-hmm.
business.
Mm-hmm.
You make it past that 2 years, you're pretty well on your way.
Yes.
And I always liken it to I have a friend who does Taekwondo, and it takes how many years and belt colors to get to black belt? And black belt just starts your training. And I'm like,
Right.
wow, that's, yeah. So it's a marathon for sure as business. You're absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
Have patience with it. Okay, so what are some good stories you could tell? What have been some favorite moments that you've had in your business?
Well, I go back to first time, like I said, when I met you.
Oh boy, go
Um,
ahead and tell it. I don't even know.
I know because I was like a little peon. Uh, but so, as you have mentioned, we were both members of one SI chamber,
Hmm.
and I remember I walked in Melvin. Actually, it was Melvin and I. We walked into the one SI 8 o'clock network
Please
event,
tell me
and
it
this
wasn't a speed networking. Was this a speed
no,
networking thing?
no, it wasn't
Okay.
speed networking. This one was at the Derby Dinner Playhouse. I'll never forget it.
Oh,
And you were the MC and the host. And man, you commanded presence, you commanded attention. It was a big event. Uh, I mean, you just had things running on point, and you got my attention. And I remember I sit there and I looked over at Melvin, and I said, I want to be her one day. I want to be what she's doing one day for this chamber.
hey,
And
look at you taking my spot too at that morning
yes, and
event.
right, you're saying yes. A few years, yes, I did. I took your spot, and but that took time. I mean, that didn't
Hmm.
just happen overnight. It was I had to
No.
build relationships with you, and I just sit back and watch you and mentor you, and man, So that was a good story. Another story. I tell you this. This is going to tell my age, but this is not. It doesn't have me. It tells you how I guess the footprint of starting this business. But I was 11 years old, and I wanted a pair of Chuck Taylors. And you might not know what Chuck Taylor, but back
I
in the
do
day,
know what they
those
are.
were the Nikes back in the day. And
Uh-huh.
Chuck Taylors at that time were about $50. And I went to my parents and I want a pair of Chuck Taylors. My father was like, I can't get you a pair of Chuck Taylors, son. We don't have that money, but I can show you how you can get a pair of Chuck Taylors. And so he made me a little wooden carrying box and he put three paint colors in there, white, black, and red. He gave me a couple paint brushes. And he said, now if you go around and paint mailboxes for people and you charge $3 a mailbox, you can get you a pair of Chuck Taylors. And man, that's what I did. 11 years old. And I got me a pair of Chuck Taylors for the start of school that summer. And that showed me, hey, you can do this. From there, I started a little lawn care business when I was growing up around the neighborhood. I go cut yards, and it just kind of went from there. So starting this business, I already had that footprint. It's just a matter of let's get out there and do it.
That
So,
is fantastic. Your dad was awesome that way. Like
yeah,
setting you on an entrepreneur path to right. It's better. What is the saying? It's better to teach a man to fish
yes. Then to give him fish,
than to give
yes.
him.
Well,
Yeah.
you give him fish he eats for the day. Teach him how to fish he'll eat for a lifetime.
That one. Yes.
Yes, yes, yeah, and
Yes.
that's true. That is true. Yeah, that is true. I so remember that, and I've kept that, you know, in the businesses that I've had. Even in when I was purchasing real estate investment property, managing that on my own, um, kept that same mentality. So it was good.
So your dad had such a big impact in that moment. Who are some other influencers you've had over the years?
Other than you and my father,
You give me way too much credit.
I'm sure you did. You made a very uh, good impact on. Um, you know, I just I would say my parents have always been very encouraging to me. In in I've I would come up with an idea and they never would tell me I couldn't do it. It was just always okay. So how you gonna go about that? What's your plan? That's big to a child, even to an adult. Even someone our age, because
Mhm.
how many times I don't know how many times you have, but man, you hear different ones. You're gonna do what? Yeah,
Right.
I can't tell you how many people said, when I said I'm thinking about starting a CPR business. You're gonna start it. People are gonna actually pay to
Mhm.
come, and
Yeah, the
you're gonna
nose
start it
crinkles.
what?
They're like, what?
Right, right. So it's just um those people that are are encouraging to you, not discouraging. Those people have been, I mean, even Melvin didn't have. Melvin would tell you when we were partners when we started off, he didn't ask me for my business plan or how we were going to do this. He said he knew me and knew the drive that I had on the fire department, so he had confidence in me that okay, if he's asking me, I'm sure he's got a plan. This is going to succeed.
He said yes before he even knew.
Right.
See, you have the same effect on people that I do.
yours, yours was really scary. I was like, oh, what have I just agreed to talk about?
Something you know. It's okay.
You just never know with you, Kristen. You just never know.
So, okay. So, what made you decide to go into a new marketplace? Was it the beach? Like, were you just ready for get out of
I
the
do
middle of
love
the
the beach.
country?
I do. I do love the water. Uh, so my my sister moved to the North Carolina area, Charlotte, North Carolina area in 2013. She met her husband and moved here. We're originally from Bowling Green, Kentucky. That's where I
Okay.
grew up at. Was raised and grew up at. Um, and so my parents still live there in Bowling Green, and then they retired, 4 years ago, and sold their house and moved here to Charlotte.
Ah.
And so, as I mentioned to you earlier, I have two boys, and my youngest graduated uh, in 2019, and he went off to EKU to college. And I really didn't have any. I was retired. I had this business, but I had nothing else keeping me in Kentucky. I've been out in Kentucky all my life. Well, I was living in New Albany at the time,
Hmm.
but like I said, that's a suburb of Louisville, so still. Um, but that's all I knew. So I was like, man, I think I'm just gonna do it. I think I'm gonna move. And my parents are getting up in age, and I wanted to be closer to them, and spend more time, and you know, help my sister. I mean, they're fine health wise now, but I know the time is coming.
Right.
And so I just wanted to be closer to them, and plus, like you say, it gets me closer to the beach. I'm 3 hours now from the beach. Great weather.
Yeah, that's the only
You
time
know,
I don't like you is when you post those pictures and it's like snowing or icing or gray around here for 12 days in a row.
hey, no snow. Don't have to fool with snow anymore. I love it. Love it.
I like there was I don't remember. It doesn't matter. Like you posted something, probably the obligatory feet in the sand picture. And I was like, I don't like you anymore.
Man, I do. I love the water. So actually I'm 15 minutes from Lake Norman, uh here in Charlotte. So I'm COVID has just put a damper on what I'm able to do, but as soon as everything's lifted, I can't wait to get out.
So how
And
has
so
that affected your business?
so let me see. Well, everything shut down March? What was it, about March the 12th,
Yeah,
something
a
like that,
year
March
ago.
15th. Yeah, a
Yeah.
year ago. So we were teaching classes from March to August.
Oof.
And yeah. So, but I tell you what it did allow me to do, and as I told you, so it allowed us to revamp the business. Melvin got the opportunity during that time, in that 4 or 5 month period, to have pastor his own church. And he, informed me that he wanted out, and he was going to move to Tennessee. And so I had to decide, okay, well, what am I going to do now? Because I'm here in Charlotte now, trying to start the business here. You were going to run the Louisville area business. So am I going to do both? Am I going to get another partner? How am I going to do this? And so it was a good time. It allowed me not to rush into, oh gosh, I got to do something now. So I just took that time. We weren't teaching any classes. We weren't making any money, but fortunately, we were a small business that we weren't in debt to anyone. So
Oh, that's
our
great.
business, yeah, um, our business was out of my office, was out of my home. So everything just kind of worked out and allowed me to take my time, figure out how I was going to go about this. And August 1st came, we started back posting that we're teaching classes on our website, and been running ever since. Now I'm running back and forth teaching classes. But it's good planning for me, because I'm in Louisville probably once a month for a whole week, teaching classes, and I just schedule all my clients that want to teach. I try to get them doing all that week, and then I'll come back here and try to I'm involved in the two chambers here, just like I was, and just like in Indiana and Louisville, um, and it's keeping me busy. But I'm still finding time for the beach. I just want you to know that. Yeah.
Look, I know you make that very clear on your Facebook posts. Thank you very much for that. I actually do appreciate it, because there are times when, in Louisville, it gets wintry, as you know, and gray skies. And I'm thankful the past 3, 4 days it's been nice and sunny. at least most of the day. So I'm finally starting to feel like a human being again, because it's not fun when it's just nothing but gray days. So I kind of do appreciate them, but I hate you at the same time. It's like, you know that.
I do.
You know how that
I
goes.
do. I know.
So tell me what it was like for you, because you guys also, you were still fairly new, but was it the Rising Star Award that you won with the One SI Chamber?
Yes.
Yeah.
But you know, we were finalists for that for three straight years. So man, that's determination.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I've only told Melvin this, but when I'm a person that I don't like, you're not going to see me sweat. I'm not going to let you know you got me. So I'm just going to keep on smiling. You know what I'm saying? Behind closed doors, I might be breaking down, but you're not going to know it. But that second time we lost, I was crushed. But I just kept on smiling, and we left that parking lot, and I was like, Melvin's like, well, we tried. We gave it 2 years, and I was like, we're gonna be back next year.
We're gonna give it 3.
We're gonna give it 3. We're coming back next year. We're gonna figure out what we're doing wrong, and we did, man. And that next year was our biggest year. We were sponsors for Louisville Slugger, the Bats.
Yep.
Oh man, we had a great year. 2019 was really good for us.
Year 3. Year 3.
Well, that wasn't year 3 in business, because we started in 2014. It was actually year 5 for us, but that was year 3 on being with the chamber.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, we had been with the chamber. That was our 4th year being with the chamber, because we joined in 2015. We joined One SI and J-Town Chamber.
Yeah, that was the year you took over as the 8 o'clock lead, and
in 2019.
Uh-huh.
Yes, because that's when yes, you're right. Everything just was happening that year. It was great. So when we won that award, man, I just wanted to do like, yeah, never did I told you when I pitched this idea to Melvin, all I wanted to do was teach a couple classes a week. That's it. Wasn't thinking about winning awards
and having 2 locations.
Having 2 locations and being sponsors to ball teams. I wasn't thinking about that. Just want to teach a couple classes.
Yeah, but now look at you.
Make a little money to get to the beach.
Stop it.
Yeah. But again, it goes back to what I said. I guess it was a learning process. I will definitely tell you. And there was one of the biggest things I've also learned when I was on the fire department, when I would leave that firehouse, I pretty much left the firehouse there. What was on, I left it there. When you're on your own business, it's 24/7.
Yep.
I can't tell you how many times 2, 3 o'clock in the morning I wake up, ding, and I'm looking, and all these ideas are going, and I just go ahead and get up, come down to the office, and just start working. I never did that before. I tell, it's like, what the world?
Welcome to business ownership.
Man, you're right. It's 24 hours, 7 days a week job, but I love it. I do. I love it.
You clearly do, because there's a lot of enjoyment with the content that you put out there. I can see there's enjoyment in what you do. There does bring you a lot of joy, and you're doing a great service for humanity by teaching people how to take care of people in times of need. So, again, thank you for your service on that. So over the years, you've received plenty of, input into your business, your life or whatever. But what's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Best piece of advice I have received. Well, I grew up in a religious home, and one of the things that my parents instilled, the Bible principle that my parents instilled in both myself and my sister, Matthew 7:12. I'll never forget it. But it's basically treat others how you want to be treated, and that's what I based the company on. Just treat individuals how you want to be treated. And so respect individuals, be honest with them, just being myself. I'm not going to come at you and try to pretend I'm such and such. Just no, this is just me. But that's how I want you to come at me. I know everybody's not going to like me, and everybody's not going to like safety net. But okay, that doesn't mean we still can't conversate or whatever. So yeah, just
Right.
treat. That would be my biggest advice. Treat people like you want to be treated. Everything else works out.
So
That
other
Bible
than being on
principle
the
stuck
beach,
with me.
what does success look like for you?
$1 million in the bank? No, no, no,
Look,
no.
I've done many interviews now, many interviews, and there's always this pause because people know, like, that's what you want to say is, I want to have plenty of money to do everything I want to do. Well, of course
Right,
we do. What else? So they always give me this wonderful explanation of what success is for them.
right.
So what's that version?
Uh, well, again, I go back to that version of success for me is just knowing that someone is walking out of a class of ours, feeling confident that they can save a life, that they will know what to do. That's that's success for me. That's just priceless. I can't put a figure on that. And I can't tell you how many times, we've heard that, someone come up to us and just tell us, man, I've taken several CPR classes before, but this one was different. I mean, you're still feeling on the same mannequin that you did at the other one, you know. Um, so it's just the approach, make people feel comfortable, make it enjoyable, you know, grab their attention like you do. You taught me that. You got to grab their attention and keep it.
Did I
And,
teach you that?
you did, because you had my attention at one side the Derby in the playoffs.
That's why I asked which one was it, because speed networking, I have to be a little on the extra side to keep everybody wrangled in on that one. That format was crazy format.
I've done that twice, speed networking. I don't know about you, but I walked out of there. I was exhausted.
Look,
I didn't
I'm
even
trying
host
to
it. I
wrangle
was
cats.
right, right. I can only imagine how you felt.
Yeah, yeah. Well, my problem was that I always felt bad because I'm literally assigned to tell people what to do.
Mhm.
And like on that one, I had to tell you, I'm not here to be nice. I'm here to keep this flowing. So if I tell you to get up and move, I mean it.
Yep, we can tell. I can see you doing that.
Okay, so back to success and influencers and all that kind of stuff. You're cracking me up. What would you give as advice to other people that are either starting a business or they're struggling, like they're at that spot, they just need a refresher, something? What advice would you give other business owners?
Don't let anyone tell you you can't do it. Don't be discouraged by the naysayers. The ones who you're gonna do what? Don't have confidence in yourself, and be hungry. I had someone tell me, actually told Melvin and I both, he's like, you guys are hungry. Y'all not hungry enough. And I thought we were doing good. And I I remember I looked at Melvin and I was like, what's this man, he barely knows us. What do you mean you don't know we're not hungry? But that was early in the business, less than 2 years. And I just had to sit back and reflect on what he meant. And hungry means, what's driving you to get up to go to an 8 o'clock networking event, when you don't want to get out of bed on a rainy Sunday, on a rainy, cold day. What's driving you to get up and do networking. I don't like talking. I know you can. I don't like, uh, I'm not a big fan of networking and going to be in front of people and talking all the time. I'm shy. I mean, but
You are not.
I am. And it's not until I get to know you that I open up to you and see. But I'm like real reserved. So that's a challenge for me. So you have to be hungry to get out there and do that. Pound the pavement. I know that first 2 years we would just go door to door and handing out business cards. I would just stop at a preschool or a dentist office or whatever, and just go in and introduce myself and give a business card. You have to be hungry for that.
Yep.
Because there was a part of me who was like, "You're going to do what?" Part of me was like, "Okay, well, I'm going to sit here in the car. You go on and you go do what you need to do. I'm going to be right here." Nope. All of us, the whole body is going into this office. So yeah, that's what I would tell you. Be hungry and don't be discouraged. Be confident. You got a plan, you got an idea, go with it. Jump. That's what I'd say. Jump.
Well, awesome. I think, yeah, we're doing good on time. Any last words you would like to say on the podcast? How can somebody get a hold of you if they're more interested in setting up time, learning more about CPR?
So you can go to our website, visit our website at cprsafetynet.com. That's cprsafetynet.com. You can also email us at learn@cprsafetynet.com. You can give us a call at now you call one office and I take care of both because I'm managing Louisville and the North Carolina. So just give us a call, 704-493-6663. All that information is on our website. You can fill out a contact form on our website and we'll get, just tell us what you're interested in, what question you have, and someone will contact you, i.e. me, explain to you. So yeah, that's how you get in contact with us.
Fantastic. Awesome. Again, any last words of wisdom?
I won't say, I don't know if it's wisdom. It is wise. Yes, it is wise. It's gratification. Thank you so much for thinking about Safety Net and allowing us to be a part of your podcast. I really appreciate that. It's been you've been a great mentor, great person to look up to and see how you need to run a business, how you need to treat people, but how you also, like you say, sometimes you just, hey, I need this, and I'm trying to be nice. But I can't get along if that's what it's going to take to get you moving. So I mean, as a business owner, that's what you have to be. And, yeah, you taught me all that. So thank you very much.
I think you're welcome.
It's a good thing, Christy. It's a good thing.
Okay. Yeah. So thank you for the kind words. I appreciate that. And for those those inner circle, remember Josh Suter? I'm going to do a shout out to Josh Suter. Do you remember Josh? He is going to be cracking his shit up listening to this because he knows me and you both. He knows. And Josh, of course, is with the St. Matthew's Chamber right now, our sponsor partner. So he listens to all of these to, get to know more. So shout out to Josh on that.
Hey, shout out. What's up, Josh? you know what I'm talking about, dude. Josh knows.
Oh, let the comments flow on this episode. Okay, thanks. And with that, Jaracz, thank you so much for being my guest today on this episode of Small Business Small Talk. For all of our listeners out there, watchers, make sure that you subscribe and share with your friends because you can't be the only one that got entertained by all of this. So, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with others. So remember to join us again. When you subscribe, you get those notifications that we've launched another episode. So be sure to follow, subscribe across any of the channels that you prefer to listen to. That includes Facebook, YouTube, and all the podcast channels like Spotify, iTunes, Podcast Addict, and so on. If you need to find what those channels are, go to smallbusinesssmalltalk.com. I've been your host, Christy Smallwood. I appreciate your time today. And Jaracz, I appreciate you very much too.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.